Mauro, thank you very much for joining me. Now, on Monday the 23rd, we have flash PMI data for May being released. That's from Germany, France, the EU, and also in terms of the US. Now, what are the market expectations in terms of PMI data, and will the euro-dollar be one to watch in that case?
Well, the expectations are interesting about France data, since in April we had a contraction about the manufacturing PMI, and we are expecting for May to have a recovery in that field. For the Eurozone in general, I have to say that the services PMI should be improved. So we are expecting this to be the driver for the growth in the Eurozone. And it would be important also to look at the US manufacturing PMI and the reaction that might happen from Monday and going on the euro-dollar. You have to remember that the euro-dollar is now trading around 1.12, just above the 1.12, and it's an interesting level. We need to be careful about below this level. We might have a fall that might even reach the 200-day moving average at 110, 110.70. But on the other side, the euro might strengthen against this dollar that in May have been really strong, and we might have a new upside to 1.1313 and 1.1427.
Speaking of Germany, on Tuesday and Wednesday we have a lot of German data coming out, including final Q1 GDP. We've also got May's ZEW survey and also IFO business expectations on Wednesday. Now, what's the outlook on Germany's current economic situation?
Well, in Germany, the GDP will be probably will be in line with the expectation and in line with the previous data, about 0.7% on the first quarter. And we are expecting actually an increase for the year-to-year data, about 1.6 against 1.3 was the expectation. We have to say that the DAX in the month of May lost the 10,000 points and have traded around in between the moving average, the 50 days moving average and the 100-day moving average. So it tried to reach the resistance at 10,000 and 10,050 points again, but have been pushed back down. So this data about the growth in Germany might be really interesting to see a new movement to the upside or to the downside also. So we might get out of this range movement.
On Wednesday, the Bank of Canada meets to decide on interest rates. Now, is the market expecting any change in stance in terms of monetary policy? And what about dollar CAD?
Actually, we are not expecting many changes from the Bank of Canada. We are expecting the rate to stay on 0.5%. And considering the recent events in Alberta state with wildfire that actually affected the production and the exportation of the oil, we don't think that this might be significant enough to be included into the monetary policy talks.
Finishing up the week, we have the second release of Q1 GDP data out of the UK and the US. What's expected and what's your technical outlook on the pound dollar?
It would be a really interesting week for pound dollar. The UK GDP is expected to be unchanged for the first quarter, 0.4%. And about this, we have to look at another data that is the preliminary investment in UK. That in the last quarter have been contracting by 2%, probably because of the uncertainty, the political uncertainty that are around UK for the Brexit referendum happening in June. And we are expecting this to increase now by 3.2% after the recent polls that have shown a majority of the people willing to stay into European Union. About the US, we are seeing the GDP revised to the upside by to 0.8% from a previous 0.5% for the first quarter. And this brings us to cable, that is trading at 1.4537 at the moment, retracing a movement, an appreciation of the pound that happened this week, a rally of the pound actually above the US dollar. And the GBP USD reached 1.4662 on Thursday and retraced back below the 146. And we are expecting, with this data that are coming out, to see a more clear movement away from the range that we have seen in the last week. So This means a resistance level about 1.4674, which is the 200 days moving average, and a support level of 144.13, which is the important 38.2% Fibonacci retracement. And this will bring us either to the high of April 147.67 or to the low that we had to the next resistance level that we have at 1.4359, which is the 50 days moving average.